Hello, crypto world! Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. So in this video, I'd like to talk about XRP, what it's doing, and what I believe it will do in the near future. So let's get started. Okay, so here is XRP on an hour candle, and as you can see, this is the part that declined, and it's really just doing nothing. It's like asleep. But I don't believe that is going to always be the case. And here is my reasoning. So to show you what I believe XRP is doing, I'd like to zoom out on a larger scale. Okay, so here is a zoomed out picture of the XRP chart. Now, XRP has a repetitive macro structure. So those of you who follow this channel are well aware of this structure, but for anyone who is new, I will briefly explain what that is. So XRP has its bull runs. We see one here, we see one over here, we see one over here. It also has its declines, but we see here, we see one here, we see one over here. Now, these bull runs, believe it or not, have the same structure. So even though this one is much smaller than this bull run right here, the structure is the same. And even though this decline looks different from this one, structurally it has the same components as this one. So after the decline comes a sideways range-bound time that exists after the decline and before the next bull run. I take this range-bound time and I split it up into three different fractals. So in fractal 1, we have part A where price moves up, moves back down, and then goes sideways. So we see that over here. In fractal 1 here, price moves up, moves back down, and then it goes flat or sideways. In fractal 2, it has three waves, wave A, wave B, and wave C. We see that over here in wave A, wave B, and wave C. So in fractal 3, the basic idea is that price moves up to a peak, which is part A, and then it crashes, which is part B. After that crash, it recovers. It does a correction right here before moving into the bull run. So this structure, the bull run, the decline, and the sideways range-bound time has repeated over and over again on the XRP chart. However, every time it repeats, it has a novel appearance. So we can look at fractal 2 here and compare it to fractal 2 over here. While they have the same idea playing out, the way it's played out is different. And the reason for that is that when a fractal repeats, the basic idea is copied over, in this case, the three waves, but the timing, the height, and the depth, those will always be original to the new iteration of that fractal. So this one, the timing, the height, and the depth was different, so it allowed for this massive move up on wave C, but then it does what wave C does. It declines. It's only a wave. In fact, this decline is actually structurally very similar, extremely similar. In fact, it's the same thing pretty much as this decline. So while it looks novel, the basic idea repeats. Now, fractal 3 has played out many times in the past. It's played out over here. In fact, if we zoom in over here and look at this one, so here is this fractal 3 where price moves up, comes to a peak in part A, and then it crashes in part B. It recovers, has a small little correction before moving into the bull run. So this one, while it looks very different, if we were to copy and paste this onto today's chart, I'll show you what I'm talking about, we would see a similarity to what is taking place today. Now, there could always be the chance that it's following this structure. Here's my thinking why it's not. We have this part of the fractal that is not accounted for in this structure. And furthermore, this decline usually goes further than what it has done currently. So let's remove this one and copy and paste the one that we have been following, and that is this one. So we have completed this bounce right here over here, and we have been working on this wave or bounce right here. We've moved up, and now we've done this kind of sideways ranging, and it is my belief we are very close to this part right here, this move up. Now, I am calling this move up the great fake out. So price moves up, and then it turns around and comes crashing back down. let's copy and paste this part right here that we are going through and this great fake out, and we will examine it, how it compares to what is taking place over here. So let's copy that and bring it over here. Let's zoom in here. Okay, so here it is. And as you can see, it is a pretty close match. So this is just grabbed on a 4-hour time frame. It's not matched like I've done in the past. And I'm doing this on purpose to give you a bird's eye view of this structure right here compared to what is taking place on today's chart. Now, there are some small timing differences. So for instance, this wave right here on the fractal is this. It moves up, comes to a peak, it then declines. And then this move up right here is this over here. So that should look like that right there. It then declines. And then this bounce is this bounce right here. In the original structure, it went lower. But like I pointed out, the timing, height, and depth, it's always original to every iteration. So this timing was different, and the height and all that. So this part right here is this. Now this moved up way higher. This over here is this bounce right here. It moves up. And then over here, there's this big gap, whereas over here, it was very small. So essentially, this part moves down, and this is where the deviation kind of takes place. But in the grand scheme of things, it's really not much of a deviation. As you can see, this structure, this fractal, also dipped here. It just wasn't anything like this. So this puts us potentially here. Now, I had thought we were already working on this part, but doing this makes me realize that this has been just playing out slower on a larger scale than I initially thought. So what I'd like to do is I would like to examine this part of the structure right here, but I'd like to go over and examine the chart itself on a smaller time frame. So on TradingView, the most I can zoom into is a 4-hour time frame. However, over here on CoinTrader Pro, I can zoom in on an hour candle. So essentially, we would be working on this part right here. In fact, I would venture to say that we have actually completed this potentially, or not quite that, more like this. Let me show you why I believe that. Okay, so here I am on TradingView. This is on a 1-hour candle. So this move up has the first part right here, this first wave. It then moves up, comes to a peak. It then declines and then does this bounce. So over here, we have the same thing. It moves up, does this first wave, which is this right here. It then comes to a peak, which it does over here. It then declines, does this bounce. Now, this bounce took longer to play out versus today where it declines and then does this bounce. So I believe we are working on this bounce. So if this is the case, we should expect another kind of bounce over here, and then eventually it's going to move up. So we still would have this to go and this to go before we really get to the point where it takes off and moves up more aggressively. So the sleeping coin will eventually, at some point, if we're following this, which I believe we are, will wake up and everyone will be happy. Now, this, of course, is not what many people believe it is. It is most likely going to be a fake out, barring some strange deviation. So here we are zoomed out on a 2-hour candle. But so far, it's following the basic pattern the way it should, which leads me to believe that we are on track, on course for the great fake out, folks. So I know this has been trying. I know it's been just like crazy the way XRP has deviated and just basically fallen asleep. There will come a point after we kind of get through this part right here, which is this part over here, it will wake up and move up aggressively. Now, after this, it will move up again and do that correction before it moves off into the bull run. So, folks, that is the state of XRP. I wish there was a way we can make it move faster, but it is what it is. But as of now, as you can see, this chart does seem to be following this fractal. And so my opinion is nothing's changed. We're still on track. We're just going slow. If you found this video interesting, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. I'm not a financial advisor, so this should not be considered financial advice. But if you did enjoy this technical analysis and you're not a subscriber yet, I recommend hitting that subscribe button because I will be continuing to follow this chart as it continues to develop. Folks, we have exciting times ahead. We are near the bull run. XRP will wake up once again. It always does. We just have to have patience. This coin really does know how to try people's patience, but good things come to those who wait. And by the way, if you notice my voice in the past few videos is kind of different, I've been feeling sick. I'm on the mend now, but I've had some nasty congestion. Anyways, I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.